Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the civil war taking place inside the former state of Ethiopia and the Eritrean invasion of northern Tigray. So first and foremost, we are getting reports coming out of Oromia that indicates Abiy loyalist forces have been picking up its airstrikes, have been increasing the number of airstrikes in western Oromia, running from Minde all the way east of Nekemte and other areas as well. We understand also that there was an airstrike by Abiy loyalist forces on a alleged Oromo regional special forces unit. These are forces that are supposedly allied with the Abiy Ahmed regime. Now, it's possible one of two things occurred during this airstrike, which has reportedly killed up to 100 Oromia regional forces. Again, initially thought to be allied with Abiy Ahmed. Now, it's possible that this battalion may have indicated that it was seeking to come over to the Oromo Liberation Army, that it was defecting from the Abiy Ahmed loyalist regime and joining up with the Oromo Liberation Army. The other possibility, it was just a mistake, that the Abiy loyalist Air Force, while not having very good communication with Oromia regional forces, mistakenly attacked this unit and caused significant casualties to these Oromia regional forces. We also know that the Abiy Air Force, the Abiy loyalist Air Force, continues to strike out at towns, cities, and villages in western Oromia. More specifically, they appear to be going after road-based convoys. These are trucks, vehicles on the road that the regime forces are able to detect and see, and then they are bombing these main roadways that have vehicles on them. Now, is it possible that some of these roadways are being used by the Oromo Liberation Army, that we are seeing the convoys of the Oromo Liberation Army being targeted on the road by Abiy loyalist forces? Yes, of course. But at the same time, we are getting reports that indicate the Abiy loyalist forces are simply striking out at the civilian populace in western Oromia out of frustration due to ongoing battlefield setbacks that have occurred. Remember, there's been a multitude of Abiy loyalist military camps, security bases that have been attacked and overrun by the Oromo Liberation Army. We have seen defections by Oromia regional forces. We have seen towns declaring their allegiance to the Oromo Liberation Army in western Oromia. So we can expect to continue to see these retribution strikes by the Abiy loyalist Air Force against a variety of targets, both civil and military, in western Oromia. In other news, we continue to see the status quo in the Tigray region. There has been no changes, no major territorial changes in the ongoing conflict since discussions ended in South Africa. The Eritrean army, with limited elements of the Abiy loyalist forces, control Shire, Axum, Shiraro, and a range of towns in between. They have tentative control over Adwa and continue to be surrounded near Adwa by Tigrayan defense forces. Now, they are able to move from Adwa to Axum at great risk. Obviously, as well, from Axum to Shire, Shire to Shiraro at great risk as well. The Tigrayan defense forces continue to control all other major cities such as Adigrat, Mekelle, and all towns in between both Mekelle, Adigrat, Mekelle, and Mechu, where the main defensive line is for the TDF against the loyalist forces, which control Alamata, Korem, and areas around Korem and Alamata. So we can expect the status quo to maintain itself, obviously, until two things happen. One, a renewed operation by either party within the military spectrum, or some sort of tentative peace agreement is reached. In all likelihood, it's highly probable that we will see a resumption of military operations by both parties involved. The agreement in South Africa appears to be more or less a respite for both sides, obviously, who are suffering from battle fatigue because of the length and nature of the ongoing conflict. So what would it take to get the Eritrean military to remove itself from the Tigray region, meaning a full pullout from areas near Adwa, Axum, Rama, Shire, Shiraro, and pull back into Eritrea? Well, that's difficult to assess at this point. If Isaias Afwerki withdraws its thousands, tens of thousands of forces from northern Tigray and returns to the de facto border areas, even if the de facto possession of Badme the cost and the expense of this conflict for Eritrea would be one that simply does not make it viable for the Eritrean army to withdraw at this point. The only way we could foresee the Eritrean military removing itself from northern Tigray would be one under great U.S. pressure in conjunction with a renewed successful military operation by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. What's interesting is the United States could very quickly reduce Eritrean military capacity very quickly. And I'm not even referencing a no-fly zone or anything of the sort. Based on the humanitarian crisis that we have seen in the region, based on the past actions of Eritrea, it would not be outside the realm of possibility at some point to see the United States take military action against Eritrea. Now, I think we would have to see an increase in the reporting of what is happening in the Tigray region. More information would have to surface about what is going on inside of both Eritrea and Tigray. But again, it would be a very limited effort by the United States to compel Eritrea to withdraw itself back into Eritrea proper. Even against the Abiy loyalist forces, again, the three major air bases that the Abiy loyalist forces operate, targeting areas inside of the Tigray region, targeting towns, cities, villages, would not need a major operations the like we've seen in other military campaigns to compel these forces to leave. Now, obviously, I think the Tigray region would have to formally declare some form of independence. I think the Tigray region could articulate that the social contract has been destroyed between the Abiy loyalist forces, the former state of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and the Tigray region. But again, if we look at past and ongoing U.S. activity, U.S. intervention, this would not be outside the realm of precedence for the United States to take action. But again, because of the dumbing down of the United States public, the lack of information that leaves the Tigray region, that gets out of the former state of Ethiopia, the general American public is simply oblivious to what is happening. But the catalyst, I would say, for U.S. action would be Eritrea. As you measure regimes around the globe, Eritrea falls into the category much like North Korea and some other despotic regimes around the world. Look, we can debate the U.S. intervention, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization intervention against Gaddafi and Gaddafi's Libya. Right or wrong, what is happening in the former state of Ethiopia exceeds what was happening in Libya. So food for thought, something to ponder. But because of the attention span of the West, compounded by lack of information being reported on what is happening, then obviously in all probability that is not going to occur. So again, we will continue to monitor, report, and bring you more information as we get it. Again, the status quo continues. Again, the area here on the map in green is areas controlled by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. The area in red, Abiy Loyalist Forces. The area in blue, the despotic regime of Eritrea. So we will have more to come very, very soon. As we get more information, we shall report it. Thank you for joining us today. Have a good day.